Hey yo, what is up my dudes and dudettes? This is Byron, the multiple interests man here, and welcome to another episode of Byron's Bios. So today I'll be reviewing another movie from last year that surprisingly surpassed Oppenheimer when it was showing in theaters, and it is another live action film based on a toy franchise that a lot of girls grew up with, maybe some boys as well. And you're not gonna guess what movie I'm reviewing. If you guessed it, you're on the right track. It is none other than Barbie. No, not Barney. Barbie. You know, B-A-R-B-I-E. I'm sure you guys know the name. I don't know, those two names are kind of confusing, so yeah. Now, this review will contain spoilers, so avoid this movie review at all costs if you don't want to be spoiled, and if you have yet seen this film. But if you have, you're at the right place. So the plot is where we get the iconic female doll named Barbie, portrayed by Margot Robbie, who lives a colorful life in her own world, which is Barbie Land, as the home of multiple Barbies, Kens, and even the ones that are discontinued models. Nothing could go wrong in that world until one day she notices that her breath is bad and her feet turn flat. And that is when she is informed that she opened another dimension where the human dolls would become humans and enter the real world. And that was caused by an existential crisis, so Barbie has to drive out of Barbie Land and head into the real world. And when Ken, portrayed by Ryan Gosling, comes along, Barbie wasn't pleased about it, but he joins her on this interesting journey anyway, despite the mischiefs that they go through while experiencing the real world. While Barbie is in the real world, Mattel realizes that she's in it and they try to take her down to make her become a doll again. She even meets this one girl named Sasha who used to play with the Barbie dolls when she was younger, but grew out of it when she got older. And as the movie goes on, Barbie gets to know Sasha a little more, and she learns that Sasha's mother, Gloria, is actually one of the people that work with Mattel, and she helps Barbie in the real world. And Ken suddenly goes back to Barbie Land and creates his own world, and turned Barbie's dream house into Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa house. You know, my dad and I thought it was funny when he said that. So when Barbie returns to Barbie Land along with Sasha and Gloria, Barbie becomes very devastated when she finds out how Ken converted her world into his world. Although Gloria helps her build self-confidence, and Barbie and Ken later apologize to each other by acknowledging their mistakes, and Ken was telling her that he felt different when Barbie wasn't around. And yet Barbie still doesn't know her true self, that she ends up meeting the spirit of her creator, Ruth Handler. And yes, Ruth Handler is the actual creator of the Barbie dolls. And she tells her that her story is never ending. Despite that, she decides to become a human being and live her life there. So that's basically the plot of Barbie. I am totally speechless right now. That movie was not as bad or uninteresting as I thought it would be. I actually had a lot of fun with it. Sure, the movie had sexism in it, but what the message in the movie had is that you should always be yourself no matter what. And it's the empowerment that females, even males, should have. Because it focuses a lot on the problematic past that Barbie had. And let me tell you about the storyline. It may have plot twists, but it followed the story very well when it comes to Barbie's journey to a different world. And I thought Warner Brothers and Mattel did a phenomenal job on getting that story to have the message connected to it. I mean, seriously, the acting was very good, and I thought that Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling did fantastic in their roles as Barbie and Ken. Even the rest of the cast that are human characters in the real world. Hell, even Will Ferrell did great as the CEO of Mattel. Not to mention John Cena is actually in that movie as well, so that's cool. And everything else, including the music scores, that were well done, and the setting of Barbie Land looked surreal, despite the movie looking so bright. And it's supposed to be bright because, duh, it's Barbie. You know, there were some funny moments in the movie that I chuckled at. Like that one part where Ken welcomes everybody to his Mojo Dojo Casa house. And that one got me and my dad cracked up, and we had a lot of fun with that. I even liked this one song that was played in one scene of the film where Barbie encounters her creator. And it's this song called What Was I Made For? And like when I first heard that song, I thought it sounded beautiful. And I thought that Billie Eilish did a wonderful job performing that song. Even with herself appearing as a Barbie lookalike in the music video. That totally fits the theming of the song right there. As much as I enjoyed the film, the only reason I wasn't into it at first is that as a male, I was not a huge fan of Barbie. Not even as a child. I mean, there had been some things that I was interested in, but I did not want to get involved in any type of sexism in anywhere, like media and the real world, etc., etc. But like, I did enjoy some feminine stuff, like My Little Pony and the Powerpuff Girls, but not all of them in most cases regarding girly stuff. Growing up, I did have a few female cousins that were into Barbie, and when I babysat my youngest one at one point, she and I did watch this one direct-to-video Barbie movie. I cannot remember the name, but that never got me too interested in the franchise. And I remember clearly as well when I was a preteen, some of them actually had the Wizard of Oz variants of Barbie and Ken, which they were at my grandparents' house, and it was quite an experience, I'm not gonna lie. The only thing I don't like about Barbie is this song made by Aqua called Barbie Girl. And while I don't find that song bad, it's just kinda overrated because of the repetitive lyrics that go, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. And hell, while I do find the upbeat music and some parts of the song to be okay, I remember overhearing my brother singing that song while we were doing karaoke for fun one night. It almost got on my nerves, and I even found out that the song exists when I was doing research on the popular 90s and 2000s songs, and I actually did not have a good taste of it. Though I do find the videos of the Roblox player being chased by the cockroach that dances to the Barbie Girl song, yeah, I find that funny. Sure, I enjoyed Hot Wheels, but not as much since I didn't have a #1 favorite out of any toy franchises. But I do like the versions of Barbie and Ken from Toy Story, I'm not gonna lie. But here's the thing about Barbie. When it was released in theaters, I knew it was a financial success that was beating other movies like Oppenheimer and the Haunted Mansion remake, which I actually watched that one at my dad's house several months ago. But like, I didn't want to see it in theaters because I thought at least it would feel weird to see a movie in a theater focusing on a lot of feminism where I never knew it would be good or not. And I originally thought as well that it was going to be some crappy musical movie. But it turns out it wasn't. And also my brother was joking by making my dad see it in theaters, and it was insane to see them bullshitting around. And when I gave myself a chance to watch it, my dad and I ended up watching it on Amazon Prime, and that movie changed my mind when I got the true feeling of the movie. And even if I'm not a fan of Barbie, I thought this live action movie was very well executed from start to finish. And I bet the reason Mattel wanted to adapt the movie based on the dolls is that they wanted to get that solid message out there and make Barbie a little different from what she would be in the rest of the franchise, while making it entertaining at the same time. And yes, there is some comedy in the film, assuming that they wanted to try something new. And yes, what I learned in this world is that when media adaptations are being done to anything, the companies that interpret the adaptations are always willing to try something new. And we see that through the process when time progresses through their releases. I mean, that's just how it is. But in the end, this movie deserves 4.5 out of 5 stars. Like, this is a healthy treat or something for both Barbie fans and non-Barbie fans that promises to be very cinematic as it is. And there's even a thing called Barbenheimer, since Barbie and Oppenheimer were released the same day as each other. And there's even a movie in the works that involves a crossover, which I think it's a ridiculous idea. But like, we'll see how it turns out to be when it comes out. But regardless, I don't mind a Barbie sequel anyway, but I doubt that'll happen. Even the actors from the movie don't think so either. And again, if you haven't seen the recent Barbie movie, I highly recommend it, and you will have as much fun with it as most of us did. Though it is rated PG-13, so it's not a movie that little kids would get into, but everybody else can. I personally think it is better than the franchise itself, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, that is my movie review on Barbie, and another episode of Byron's Bios, I guess. But whatever. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, this is me, Byron, the Multiple Interests Man, aka Byron Hazlett, signing off. Double peace.